Hello and welcome to Grow English Mastery. My name is Scarlett. Today, our lesson covers a deeply shocking and tragic story from the United States. It's a story that began as a horrifying piece of breaking news and is now developing into a complex investigation with national implications. This is a story that touches not only on a terrible crime, but on the very foundations of democracy itself. In any healthy society, political debate can be passionate. People can have strong disagreements. But there is a fundamental rule that debate remains peaceful. When that line is crossed and violence is used to silence political voices, it becomes a tragedy that affects everyone. Today, we will explore such a tragedy. We often see political leaders on the news, giving speeches or debating in government buildings. It can be easy to forget that behind their official titles, they are also people. People with families, friends, and colleagues whose lives are precious. The story we will discuss today is a very sad and powerful reminder of that simple truth. We will be examining the assassination of a high-profile state leader in Minnesota, Speaker of the House Melissa Hortman, and a related violent attack on another state senator. This is a comprehensive lesson. We will follow the story from the initial shocking announcement to the identification of a suspect, and finally, to the national reaction. Our central questions will be: what are the known details of this horrific attack? Who is the suspect that law enforcement is searching for? What evidence have they found? And how is a nation responding to this act of political violence? This is a difficult topic, but by examining it together, we will learn the important vocabulary and grammar needed to understand and discuss serious news events in English. We will learn key words like assassination, manifesto, and manhunt. Our grammar focus will be on using modal verbs to express certainty and possibility in a developing story, and on using adjectives and adverbs to add necessary detail and precision to our language. Let's approach this subject with the respect and seriousness it deserves. The news broke on the morning of Friday, June 14th. The day started like any other, but it was soon shattered by an event that would send shockwaves across the state and the nation. The governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, appeared before the press, his face grim. The atmosphere in the room was tense, filled with flashing cameras and worried reporters. His announcement confirmed their worst fears. He began, his voice heavy with emotion. The state of Minnesota has just witnessed an unspeakable tragedy. An unspeakable tragedy is one that is so terrible, it is difficult to even talk about. He continued, "My dear friend and colleague, the Speaker of the House for the state of Minnesota, Melissa Hortman, and her husband, Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination." Let's pause to fully understand the significance of this. In the United States government system, each state has its own government. The Speaker of the House is one of the most powerful and important political leaders in that state government. She was not just a politician, she was a leader responsible for guiding laws and representing thousands of people. An attack on her is an attack on the institution she represents. But the horror of that morning did not end there. During the same press conference, Governor Walz revealed that a second coordinated attack had taken place. State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were also attacked in their home in the city of Champlin, about 13 kilometers away from the first crime scene. The governor stated that they had been shot multiple times and were immediately rushed into surgery. In a small glimmer of hope amidst the darkness, the governor expressed what he called cautious optimism that both Senator Hoffman and his wife might survive what he described as an attempted murder. Governor Walz was very clear about how he, as the state's leader, viewed these events. He said, "This is a deliberate act of political violence. A deliberate act is one that is done on purpose, with careful planning." He then made a powerful and emotional statement about the principles of democracy, a message that was clearly intended for every citizen. He said that peaceful dialogue is the bedrock of our democracy. The bedrock is the strong, solid foundation upon which everything else is built. He finished with a clear and firm declaration: "We do not solve our disagreements with violence or bullets." As the state reeled from this news, the first question on everyone's mind was, who? Now, who could commit such a terrible crime? And the second question was, why? Law enforcement agencies began working around the clock to find an answer. And in the hours that followed, a name began to surface. Authorities soon publicly confirmed the identity of the primary suspect in both attacks. His name is Vance Boelter, and he is 57 years old. With this name came a detailed description. He is a white male, approximately 1.8 meters tall, with brown hair and brown eyes. The police released information about his last known appearance. He was reportedly wearing a cowboy hat, a dark long-sleeved shirt or jacket, light-colored pants, and was carrying a dark bag. He is now the subject of a massive manhunt. As the investigation continued, more troubling details emerged about Vance Boelter's background. It was revealed that he works for a private security company called Praetorian Guard Security Services. His job title is Director of Security Patrol. This is significant because it suggests he has a professional background in security, tactics, and possibly firearms. The company's website even states that Boelter has received training from members of the United States military. This paints a picture of a suspect who is not an amateur, but someone with a dangerous set of skills. Investigators also provided more detail about the suspect's chilling methods, which involved deception and careful planning. To get close to his victims, he impersonated a police officer. To impersonate someone is to pretend to be them in order to trick people. He allegedly wore a police-style uniform and drove a car that he had modified to look like an official law enforcement patrol vehicle. This is a particularly frightening tactic because it uses the public's trust in the police as a weapon. In an even stranger development, investigators are looking into the possibility that the suspect was also wearing a synthetic rubber mask. The purpose of such a mask would be to completely hide his true face and mislead any eyewitnesses or cameras, making the initial search by police even more difficult. This detail, if true, shows an incredible level of premeditation. We also know that the suspect is extremely dangerous. After one of the attacks, when law enforcement officers arrived at the scene, the suspect engaged in a shootout with them. he fired his gun at the police before he managed to escape. As a result of his escape, a massive, large-scale manhunt was launched. This involves local police, state police, and even federal agencies like the FBI, all cooperating to find and capture this dangerous fugitive. To discuss such a serious and detailed event, we need a precise vocabulary. Let's take a moment to learn 12 key words and phrases from this story. Our first word is assassination, spelling ASSASSINATION. Assassination is a noun. It means the murder of a prominent person, like a political leader, for political reasons. Its verb form is assassinate, and the person who does it is an assassin. Example from the story. The governor described the attack as a politically motivated assassination. General example. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand started World War I. Everyday context. In a metaphorical sense, a journalist might write a harsh article to assassinate a politician's character. Our second word is motive, spelling MOTIVE. Motive is a noun. It is the reason a person does something. Example from the story. A manifesto found in the suspect's car may reveal his motive. General example. In detective stories, finding the motive is key to solving the crime. Everyday context. His motive for working so hard is to provide a good life for his family. Our third word is suspect. Spelling SUSPECT. Suspect is a noun. It is a person who the police believe may have committed a crime. Example from the story. The main suspect in the case is Vance Boelter. General example. The police have arrested a suspect in connection with the robbery. Everyday context. When the cake went missing, the little boy with chocolate on his face was the main suspect. Our fourth word is manhunt. Spelling MANHUNT. Manhunt is a noun. It means a large-scale, organized search for a person, especially a criminal. Example from the story. The FBI is assisting in the massive manhunt for the suspect. General example. The movie The Fugitive is about a famous manhunt. Everyday context. After their dog escaped, the family started a neighborhood-wide dog hunt. Our fifth word is manifesto, spelling MANIFESTO. Manifesto is a noun. It is a public, written statement declaring a person's or group's intentions and views. Example from the story. The police found a manifesto in the suspect's car, which is a key piece of evidence. General example. A political party usually publishes a manifesto before an election. Business context. The company's new CEO wrote a manifesto outlining his vision for the future. Our sixth word is impersonate. Spelling IMPERSONATE. Impersonate is a verb. It means to pretend to be another person to trick people. Example from the story. The suspect was able to get close by impersonating a police officer. General. Example. It is a serious crime to impersonate a doctor or a lawyer. Entertainment context. There are many comedians who are famous for their ability to impersonate famous actors. Our seventh word is bedrock. Spelling: bedrock. Bedrock is a noun. It means the strong, fundamental principle on which something is based. Example from the story. The governor said that peaceful dialogue is the bedrock of democracy. General example. Trust is the bedrock of any strong friendship or marriage. Business. Context. A commitment to quality is the bedrock of our company's success. Our eighth term is law enforcement. Spelling: LAWENFORCEMENT. Law enforcement is a noun phrase. It refers to the police and other officials who enforce laws. Example from the story. Law enforcement agencies from the local to federal level are cooperating. General example. A career in law enforcement can be both rewarding and dangerous. Every day. Context. If you witness a crime, you should contact law enforcement immediately. Our ninth word is condemn. Spelling: CONDEMN. Condemn is a verb. It means to say very strongly that you think something is wrong or evil. Example from the story. National leaders from both political parties have condemned the attacks. General example. The international community condemned the country for its human rights abuses. Everyday context. The school has a policy that will condemn any form of bullying. Our 10th word is extremism. Spelling: EXTREMISM. Extremism is a noun. It means holding extreme political or religious views, often associated with a willingness to use violence. Example from the story. Former President Biden called for national unity against extremism. General example. The government is working to prevent the spread of violent extremism online. Everyday context. A healthy debate requires avoiding extremism and listening to other viewpoints. Our 11th word is prosecute. Spelling: PROSECUTE. Prosecute is a verb. It means to officially charge someone with a crime and try to prove them guilty in a court. Example from the story. The Attorney General promised the perpetrator will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. General example. The district attorney decided not to prosecute due to a lack of evidence. Business context. The company was prosecuted for violating safety regulations. Our final adverb is allegedly. Spelling: ALLEGEDLY. Allegedly means that something is claimed to be true, but it has not been proven yet. Example from the story. The suspect allegedly wore a rubber mask to disguise himself. General example. He allegedly stole the money, but the trial has not started yet. Media context. Journalists use the word allegedly to report on accusations fairly. These words help us discuss this event with the gravity it requires. Now, let's look at the grammar we use when a situation is developing, and not everything is 100% certain. Our grammar focus today is on modal verbs of speculation and possibility. and on making them more precise with adjectives and adverbs. In a breaking news story, many things are uncertain. We use modal verbs to show how certain we are. For logical conclusions based on early evidence, we use phrases like appears to be or seems to be. For example, the attack appears to be politically motivated. This shows it is a strong theory, but not yet a proven fact. For high certainty based on logic, we use must be or can't be. For example, the suspect is armed and has shot at police. He must be extremely dangerous. Or, the two attacks happened at the same time and were so similar. They can't be a coincidence. For possibility, when we are less certain, we use might, may, or could. For example, the governor is hopeful that Senator Hoffman might survive. Or, the suspect could be hiding anywhere in the state. Now, how do we add more detail and precision? We use adjectives and adverbs. An adjective describes a noun, a horrific crime. An adverb describes a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. It was politically motivated. Let's see how they work together to make the language more powerful. Instead of saying, it was an act of violence, the governor said, it was a deliberate act of political violence. The adjectives deliberate and political give us crucial information. Instead of saying, the president said the attack was bad, the report says, President Trump called the attacks absolutely horrible. The adverb absolutely makes the adjective horrible much stronger. By combining modals with this descriptive language, we can be both careful and detailed. For example, the suspect must have carefully planned this horrific attack. This sentence shows speculation, must have, description, horrific, and detail about the action, carefully. Now, let's return to the investigation. The most significant development came when police found the vehicle that the suspect abandoned after he escaped. Inside that car, they found two critical pieces of evidence, a manifesto, and a list of other lawmakers and officials. As we learned, a manifesto is a written statement explaining someone's motives. The discovery of this document and a list of other potential targets provides very strong evidence that these attacks were not random. It suggests they were premeditated, carefully planned, and politically motivated. The attacks in Minnesota have drawn a strong and unified reaction from the highest levels of the U.S. government, showing how seriously this act of political violence is being taken. President Donald Trump spoke to reporters, calling the attacks absolutely horrible. He said that law enforcement was actively searching for the man. The White House also confirmed that the president had been briefed on the situation. The nation's top law enforcement official, Attorney General Pam Bondi, also released a statement. She said that she was monitoring the situation closely and confirmed that the FBI is on the scene investigating. She promised that this horrific violence will not be tolerated and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Former President Joe Biden also issued a statement in which he condemned the brutal attack. He called for all Americans to unite against hatred and extremism. He wrote, "We must not give hate and extremism a safe harbor, and we must all stand together against political violence as a nation." The fact that the current president, the former president from the opposing political party, and the Attorney General have all spoken out with such strong words shows the gravity of this attack on the country's democratic leaders. Now, it's time to practice what we have learned. For your listening skills, listen again to the section on the national reaction. What specific adjectives did President Trump and former President Biden use to describe the attacks? Listen for the emotional power in their word choices. For your speaking skills, practice describing a situation using speculation and description. Imagine you see a new restaurant that is very crowded. You could say, "That restaurant must be really good. It looks incredibly popular." For your reading skills, find a news article about a crime or a mystery. Highlight the modal verbs, might, could, the adjectives, and the adverbs. See how the journalist uses these words to build a picture for the reader while remaining factual. For your writing skills, use the comment section below. Write 1 or 2 sentences speculating about the suspect, Vance Boelter, using at least 1 modal verb, 1 adjective, and 1 adverb. For example, the dangerous suspect must have carefully chosen his victims. Let's conclude. This story is about more than just a crime. As Governor Walz so powerfully stated, it is an attack on the high idea of democracy itself. It is a terrible reminder that political disagreements, which are normal and healthy in any society, should never be allowed to turn into political violence. The foundation, the bedrock of democracy, is the ability to disagree peacefully. Today, we have followed the critical updates in the investigation into the Minnesota attacks. We learned the identity and the detailed profile of the suspect, Vance Boelter. We analyzed the chilling evidence found in his car and heard the strong, unified reactions from national leaders. We learned 12 important vocabulary words like manifesto, condemn, and extremism. And we focused our grammar skills on using modal verbs for speculation and on using adjectives and adverbs to make our English more descriptive and precise. Following a developing news story like this helps you learn English in a very real and immediate way. You are learning the language that people are using right now to discuss important events. Well done for engaging with this serious and detailed material. The discovery of a manifesto and a list of names seems to make the motive for this attack clearer. What does this kind of premeditated political violence say about the challenges that societies are facing today? I invite you to share your respectful and thoughtful ideas in the comments section below. If this lesson was valuable to you, please give it a like, subscribe to Grow English Mastery for more lessons that tackle real-world issues, and I will see you in our next update. Thank you for joining me.